This is DRF Race of the Day. Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer, the DRF Race of the Day for Sunday, May the 23rd, race number 7 at Santa Anita. Let's throw up the field for the Cinema Stakes. We're going 1.125 miles on the turf for 3-year-olds. Download free formulator past performances for this race on the Race of the Day event page at drf.com. Access them and handicap along with us. Hubris, the number 4, Mike, is the morning line favorite at 9-5. Probably based on the quality of competition he faced last time out.
Yeah, he faced a good horse last time and actually ran well in that race, Dan. I think it's going to be pretty close as far as the wagering goes, though. I didn't really feel like anybody, necessarily stood out on form in this race.
I do think Jimmy Irish, the 3, is going to make the top, and Timeform US agrees as we look at their pace projector. Jimmy Irish expected to make the lead. Hubris can be close. I know he's been chasing some slower paced races, but I wouldn't be surprised if Hubris and Flavien Prat are close to the pace with maybe Hudson Ridge sitting 3rd.
Yeah, I can see the 2 outside horses going forward. Whether or not they try to make the lead remains open to question. I guess it all depends on Jimmy Irish. I agree with you. I think he'll be on the lead here. Certainly will be if he brings his synthetic form over to turf.
It'll be interesting to see if the number 1 Airman improved with Lasix in his last 3 races, because he will not be using the anti-bleeding medication in the Cinema. Let's watch his most recent start, May the 1st, maiden win for Airman as the favorite. You'll notice Airman's on the far outside, but look at the horse down towards the rail right now in the black and white cap. That is Hudson Ridge, who you're going to see just be steadied really hard, and he still runs very well. I thought Airman grinded this thing down on the far outside. You could argue Hudson Ridge was best.
You could argue that. I mean, if nothing else, Dan, there was a good pace going on in that race early. That field got all stretched out. Hudson Ridge kept close to it. Airman sat it out and came with a pretty good run to close it down late. I think this horse has run well in each of his last 2 starts, but he certainly had all the best of it last time.
Sword Zorro, the number 2, really put it all together when allowed to stretch out around 2 turns for John Sadler. Let's watch his victory in the Singletary Stakes at a mile. And I like the way this horse kicked this field down, Mike. I don't think it was the greatest field in the world, but he just swings widest and fastest and is strong in the lane.
Yeah, good effort from this horse here. He seemed like a horse who was going to really appreciate stretching out there. And the run off the layoff there in February, that just looked like a total prep race to me. They didn't ask him for a lot and just let him run on late. They stretched him out last time. They got a much better performance. He is bred to go even longer than the mile. His European form was very good. I think this horse makes a lot of sense in here.
First-time turf for the 3, Jimmy Irish, who's done little wrong in 2 lifetime starts over the Tapeta at Golden Gate Fields. Let's watch his second outing. That was the California Derby, where he was able to make the lead. And he's just going to get run down in the stretch, but I like the performance. He's going to push back this odds-on favorite, Parnelli, who took a good run at him on the turn, and is going to take a sharp horse in Stalking Shadow to just get him.
Yeah, he ran well in this race. I mean, all things considered, the way that the pace shaped up in here, Dan, with him going to the front, Parnelli, the big favorite there, went after him pretty early. They raced for a long way in there, and a closer came and nailed this horse on the wire. But this horse did a lot of racing last time. He ran very well.
Perhaps most importantly for the 4, Hubris, not only the fact that he ran into Du Jour in the race we're going to see right now, this optional claiming event, but that he already has a prior win at 1 1/8. That was his maiden claiming score 2 back. In this race, Du Jour, you see, is 3-5. Hubris broke inward, settled off of him, just couldn't go with that horse. Du Jour came back to win the American Turf, a graded race at Churchill with an 89 buyer.
Yeah, Du Jour's really nice, Dan. He's a really good horse. I thought all things considered, Hubris ran well in this race. He gave Du Jour a pretty good bump at the start. Then he just kept after him for as long as he could. But he was only second best in there. I thought he ran fine. I liked his maiden win 2 back. I realized it was a higher priced maiden claiming race, but it was at this distance. I thought he was moving right along on the lead in there. He finished with a pretty good run in that race. Distance is no problem for this horse. I'm not going to be surprised when he runs well again.
Hudson Ridge is a maiden, but we saw him just miss to Airman last time out with that little bit of trouble. He has tactical speed in the outside post, seems to be moving the right way, and is certainly bred for a little longer.
He is. Listen, I thought Airman ran better than this horse 2 starts back when they were 2nd and 5th in that maiden race. But last time, I don't think it's very difficult to argue that Hudson Ridge ran the best race and might have, in fact, been best in the race. He ran fine in there. He's got really good tactical speed. Could be a good trip coming for this horse in here. We'll see if he improves. I think he's got to improve a little bit, Dan, but we'll see if he does.
That being said, let's take a look at our top picks for the Sunday race of the day. And I just think stretching out to 1.125 is going to really help Airman, just a big, good-looking son of Tonalist. And I think his improvement a little bit has to do with the Lasix, but also I just think this horse needed to grow into himself a bit. I think he's going to be charging in the stretch. We'll see if he gets enough pace. Sword Zorro, the 2, already a stakes winner over this course. We saw him finish up very well, and I would not be surprised if he drifts a little bit off that 5-2.
It's interesting to see how they bet the race. It will be, Dan. I don't know how they're going to bet it here. I think a lot of different horses could take money and go favorite in here. I thought Sword Zorro was one of those, but I won't be surprised if he even goes a little higher than 5-2 either. I just like his form. I think his European form was good, and I thought he really took a step forward last time with more distance.
Sword Zorro, the 2 for Mike. Airman, the 1 for me. In your Sunday race of the day, the Cinema. Good luck.